up, YouTube? My name is Keith Sean, and I'm a self-taught software engineer from Dayton, Ohio. You can follow me at Keith Can Code on all platforms, and I make a variety of content. I have a background in videography and photography, so I like to make some fun videos as well as get people game on code. So my background, I had no prior tech experience. I was a former college athlete, shout out Hampton University. So after my college years, I was honestly just hustling as a videographer and photographer, just shooting any and everything I could. I really had aspirations to be a big-time videographer, but the entrepreneur grind is tough. Eventually in 2016, we had a daughter, and that's when I kind of had to give the entrepreneur thing a rest and get a job. So I was working as a manager at UPS, and honestly, it wasn't that much money. So I would drive for Lyft, I would do DoorDash, I started picking up some more video projects again, just anything I can do to bring some more money in. But even then, it still wasn't enough. Then tech came. It was a random day after work, and Jess, who's my fiance, was telling me about a conversation she had. She said her aunt told her how she could take these free online courses from Ivy League colleges. Then you could turn around and use the course on your resume to get a job. So I looked into it. It was on a platform called edX.org. And from there, I signed up for my first class, which was Harvard CS50. Now, I had no technical background and I didn't even know what I was signing up for, but the idea of attending something from Harvard and using that on my resume sounded good. Now, I'll be completely honest. In the very beginning, from the very first lecture from Harvard CS50, I felt like I was out of place. The terms, everything was just going over my head. It was too much. But I stuck with it, and using some other resources, things started to click for me. Early on, I used an app called Solo Learn on my phone, and with that, I would read and learn about the terms that I would then apply to my Harvard CS50 course. Around the same time, my fiance was doing the exact same thing. She was taking a Harvard CS50 course, but she took it a step further. She would use the app Meetups to find groups of interest so she could socialize and network with people in the tech space. And at the time, I really didn't see a need for me to go until she started dragging me to the events. Looking back, that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I needed to go because that gave me the reassurance that I could do it myself, meeting people in the tech space that were self-taught. Even then, Jess was way more adamant about the meetings than I was, and it eventually led to her getting a job. One of the organizers from the group noticed how dedicated Jess was and gave her her first tech role. So now that really put a battery in my back. I knew I could do it. Somebody in my household, like I seen her journey, so I knew I could do it for myself. But my path was a little bit different. I started crafting a basic resume. My experience was my projects from Harvard CS50, and the education was a Harvard CS50 course. So I took that resume and I applied to every software engineering job I could find between Dayton, Cincinnati, and Columbus, Ohio. And to my disbelief, the very next day, my phone was ringing off the hook. And I really thought this was my time, like I'm about to make this 6 figures, like I'm really about to change my life. But it didn't happen that way. Over the next 6 months, I would go over 20, 30, I don't even know how many interviews. I would get rejection after rejection after rejection, so much to the point I felt defeated and I really didn't want to go on any more interviews. Now looking back, I learned something from every interview because honestly, my portfolio wasn't that strong. So every interview gave me the opportunity to learn something new. I was presented with coding tests and all sorts of things that I would struggle with, but over time, I was gaining some knowledge. After so many rejections, I just said, hey, I'm gonna take a step back, review my portfolio, sharpen my coding skills, then I'll start reapplying. But I had one more interview left that I was gonna go on. I figured they'll just reject me, but hey, just like the other ones, maybe I can learn something from this one. So I go on the interview, and honestly, it felt different. And though they were interested in what I was working on and what I knew, the biggest question they had for me was I willing to learn? And of course I told them I'll learn anything. So I left that interview not really thinking much of it. I figured I'd get a rejection in a few days, but the very next day, yeah, I got that phone call, got my first job offer. I can't even describe that feeling. Like it just felt so damn good to achieve something that I tried for so long. So that was in November of 2019 when I got the position, and I've been with that same company ever since. Now I've learned a bunch in that time. I got side projects going now. I got my own things that I want to do with tech. So yeah, things are changing. Tech changed my life. Not only financially, but it just gave me the confidence to know that you can really do anything that you really set your mind to. Now, I know that sounds cliche, but nah, you can really do it. Now, I hope this video wasn't too long, but anybody on your pursuit of being a self-taught engineer, or you just want to change your situation, yeah, you can do it. Like, get into this tech space, learn, like, be a sponge. As long as you're willing to learn, like, there's a place out there for you. So, like and subscribe. I'll be back giving you, I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. This is video 1. This is probably tough for y'all to get through, but hey, we here. We gonna figure it out together. So yeah, like and subscribe. Follow me at Keith Can Code on all platforms, and we'll be back. Peace out.